Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into a big and very serious matter that has been making waves across South Africa. It is about illegal Zimbabwean foreigners who for years have been accused of looting South Africa's natural resources, and how some of them have finally met their ends in ways that are now being reported and confirmed through official statements and investigations. Before we get into all the details, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our latest updates. And remember, watch until the end so you can see the sources for yourself and try to verify this news. Now, to break this down, this situation is not something that happened overnight. South Africa has for many years been battling illegal mining, smuggling of precious metals, and cross-border criminal activities that are often linked to syndicates operating from Zimbabwe and other neighboring countries. These illegal activities have been eating away at our country's economy and putting ordinary communities in danger. In fact, entire towns and villages close to abandoned mines have been turned into battlegrounds where illegal miners, known as Zomas, fight over territory, often leaving innocent people caught in the crossfire. Authorities have long suspected that many of the leaders of these mining syndicates were not ordinary workers but highly connected individuals with roots in Zimbabwe. They had networks to smuggle gold, chrome, and other resources out of South Africa and across borders where they were sold for huge profits. And while ordinary South Africans suffered from a weakening economy and crumbling infrastructure, these individuals grew rich from what they were taking. But over the last few months, cracks have started to show in these operations. South African police, working alongside intelligence units and even community whistleblowers, have been cracking down on illegal mining hotspots. Reports suggest that some of the Zimbabwean nationals who were at the center of these operations have now either been arrested, deported, or even killed in violent clashes with rival groups or during police operations. This is what people mean when they say some of them have finally met their ends. For years they operated with what looked like impunity, but that free run seems to be closing fast. Communities in provinces like Gauteng, Limpopo, and Mpumalanga have been complaining for years about the impact of illegal mining. People have spoken about the constant noise of blasting at night, about how sinkholes and collapsing ground near mines have made living areas unsafe, and about the rising crime rates linked to these syndicates. It has even been said that in some places, Zomas have more control than the local government structures. They set up camps, bring in illegal weapons, and intimidate residents who try to speak out. But with recent operations, that grip is starting to weaken. Now, while the news of arrests and deaths of some of these illegal foreign operators might sound like a victory for South Africa, it also raises tough questions. For one, how did things get so bad in the first place? How did so many foreigners manage to operate illegal mining rings for so many years under the noses of the authorities? And secondly, what happens to the ordinary miners, many of whom are simply desperate men trying to earn a living? The reality is complicated. Many of the foot soldiers in these illegal operations are poor Zimbabwean migrants who fled economic hardship in their own country. They do the dangerous work underground while the real money goes to powerful syndicate bosses. South Africa has to balance compassion with control. We cannot ignore the humanitarian side, but at the same time, we cannot allow our natural resources to be stripped away illegally, leaving our people poorer. The government has recently committed to tightening border controls, improving surveillance around abandoned mines, and working with regional partners to stop smuggling routes. Some of the reported deaths of these syndicate leaders happened during violent clashes in the Free State and Gauteng, where turf wars have escalated. Others were taken out in police-led raids, where officers recovered large amounts of cash, weapons, and stolen minerals. The Department of Mineral Resources has also stepped in, saying they will fast-track the rehabilitation of abandoned mines so that these places are no longer playgrounds for criminals. Community groups have welcomed this but say the government must act faster, because many people have already lost their lives or had their properties damaged by illegal blasting. When we talk about the looting of natural resources, we're not only talking about gold and chrome. Copper cables, coal, and even sand have been targets of illegal operations. Every time these resources are stolen, the economy suffers, jobs are lost, and South Africans pay the price. So when you hear that some of these foreign syndicates are finally being dismantled, it gives hope that things might change. But we have to stay cautious and realistic. These groups are deeply rooted, and taking them down will not happen overnight. Another point worth noting is the regional impact. Zimbabwe itself has been under economic strain for years, and many of its citizens feel forced to cross into South Africa to find opportunities. Sadly, some get drawn into illegal work because there are very few legal options available to them. This means the problem is not just South Africa's alone. Unless Zimbabwe stabilizes its economy and creates jobs for its own people, South Africa will continue to face waves of migration, and with it, the risks of more illegal operations. For South Africans, this is both a relief and a challenge. Relief because there is evidence that law enforcement is finally gaining ground, but a challenge because the fight is far from over. For years people have been saying that these illegal miners are untouchable, that they are too connected and too dangerous to confront. But now, with some of their leaders either behind bars or dead, that fear might begin to ease. So, what does it mean when we say these illegal Zimbabwean foreigners who looted South Africa's natural resources have finally met their ends? It means that the cycle of impunity is breaking. It means that the days of freely looting and smuggling are coming to a close. And it means that South Africans, through both government action and community bravery, are reclaiming some control over their own resources. But it also serves as a warning: if the system does not address the root causes, such as poverty and corruption, another group could rise to replace them. South Africans deserve better, and our natural wealth must be used for the development of our country, not for the enrichment of a few criminals. People are tired of watching resources disappear while unemployment grows and service delivery fails. Remember, all the images used here are for illustration purposes only. The news sources for today's report include Eyewitness News, Daily Maverick, SABC News, and News 24.